All right, this is grade 3, module 3, lesson 19, where we're going to start multiplying by multiples of 10. But in this lesson, we're specifically going to do some number sense building techniques using place value charts and number disks, rather than just jumping straight to the trick that is so common. For example, textbooks will often say, oh, 3 times 50. Really, all you need to do is do the 3 times 5, which is 15, and then bring the 0 over. That's a very common trick that textbooks will say, and yes, it does work on whole numbers. The problem is students are going to be forced to learn a brand new trick when they're suddenly trying to learn like 0.3 times 50, because you can't do this trick up here when you're dealing with decimals. So all of a sudden the trick doesn't work. So we don't want to teach a trick, because then we'd force our students to have to learn a brand new trick when they're learning about decimals in 4th and 5th grade. So we're going to teach a method that might feel a little cumbersome, but because it's only at first it's going to feel cumbersome, because we want our students to have number sense, and we're going to do that through number disks and place value charts, so that they're not going to learn a trick, they're just going to understand mathematics. So I'm going to start a little unusually. I'm going to start with a blank screen here, and we're going to start with, let's divide this in half, and let's do 2 times 3 and 2 times 30. All right. So now 2 times 3, we're going to use disks. And 2 times 3, I'm going to think of it as 2 rows of 3. All right. And in this case, each of these number disks is a 1. So you have essentially 2 rows of 3 ones. All right, 2 times 3 ones, and you can see that here's one row, here's a second row, and of course the answer is 6. So the answer is 6 ones. All right. Now similarly, if we're going to do this with the second problem over here, 2 times 30, we're going to think of this as 2 times 3 tens. All right, because instead of saying 30, we're going to call it 3 tens. Well, 2 times 3 tens, we're going to draw that as an array, and it's going to look like this. 2 rows of 3 tens. The only difference is now each of these is a 10, kind of like dimes. You could think of money. 2 rows of 3 dimes. Well, 2 rows of 3 dimes equals 6, except I want to do it in black, 6 tens. Now, over here, 6 ones, that's equal to 6. And over here, 6 tens is equal to 60. So our answer up here is 6, and our answer over here is 60. Now, we didn't have to use number disks. We could have used the place value chart. So in this case, the place value chart, I'm going to do ones and tens, and we're going to start by saying 2 groups of 3 ones. Well, 3 ones is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3. And another group of 3 ones is going to look like this. 2 groups of 3 ones, and we can see that that answer is 6 ones. Clearly the answer is 6 in the ones column. Now if we wanted to do that over here on the right side, yeah, I'd still write my ones and I'd make my tens, only this time this array right here, 2 times 3 tens, the way I'm going to make that in my place value chart down here is I'm going to say 2 groups of 3 tens. So here's one group of 3 tens. Here's a second group of 3 tens. And so we have a total of 6 in the tens column. And when you have 6 in the tens column, that's equal to 60. And so that's what we're going to start in our next slides. We're going to do some problems where we're using number disks. Then we're going to do this very similar problems, only we're going to use place value charts. And the whole point is not because we think it's efficient this way, but because this is the way we're going to build number sense so that students are going to learn the mathematics of what's going on rather than just learn some tricks. So we're going to start off with some number disks. So we've got use the disks to complete the true number sentences. So we can see this array, and we have 3 rows, and there's 3 in each row. So you've got 3 ones times 3 rows. So you got 1, 2, 3, 3 rows, and you've got 3 columns. So our answer, 3 rows, 3 in each row, that's what 3 ones means, and this 3 means we have 3 rows. And so the total is, we're going to have 9 ones total. So that means 3 times 3 is 9. In a related problem, instead of each of these being ones, like over here, now they're going to be tens. So we have 3 tens in each row, 1, 2, 3, and we have 3 rows, and that's why the 3. So altogether, we have 9 tens, which is equal to 90. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Done. So what we want our students to see is over here we did 3 times 3, but over here we did 30 times 3. And we want our students to see that this answer is 9, this answer is 90, so our students should begin seeing some patterns. So now we've got similar problems, only this time we're going to use the place value chart. So in this case, we can see we have 2 rows of 5, and 2 rows of 5 equals 10 ones, so 2 times 5 is 10. Similarly, instead of having 2 times 5 ones, now we're going to have 2 times 5 tens over here. And so 2 times 5 tens. So here's one row of 5 tens, and here's another row of 5 tens. So altogether, we have 10 tens. Ooh, 10 tens means, it means 100. Now that's a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another column here, and it's the hundreds column. And we know from previous lessons that anytime you have 10 of something in one column, you can cash it in for 1 in the next column over. So that means we have 100. So 10 tens right here is equal to 100. So in this case, we did 2 times 5. In this case, we did 2 times 50. Over here, the answer is 10. Over here, the answer is 100. So you should see some patterns. So that is Grade 3, Module 3, Lesson 19, learning how to multiply by multiples of 10, like 5 times 3 versus 5 times 30. However, we're going to be using number sense, like place value chart and number disks. And that's what this lesson was all about.